So this is the first chapter of book three. And so we are looking at the three parts of morality. Uh, and there's a story about a schoolboy who was asked what he thought God was like. He replied that as far as he could make out, God was the sort of person who is always snooping around to see if anyone is enjoying himself and then trying to stop it. And I'm afraid that is the sort of idea that the word morality raises in a good many people's minds. Something that interferes, something that stops you from having a good time, which is not true. God does not stop us from having a good time. He just has rules. He has instructions for us to follow, and we do not follow them. That's probably one of the most important aspects of something that we do not seem to um, uh, think about. When we look at sorry, I should make sure I knew how to do something. When we look at Christianity, many people look out from the outside and it's just rules. It's what to do, what not to do. It's a to-do list. But but when it comes, Lewis is pretty much explaining that this is not the fact. This is not the truth. Um, this sounds a little strange when I first begin it, but it is dangerous to describe a man who tries very hard to keep the moral law as a man of high ideals, because this might lead you to think that moral perfection was a private taste of his own, and that the rest of us were not called on to share it. This would be no human being, whether saved or not, is perfect. No one is. Um, that's not what Christianity is. Yes, there are things to do and not to do. That's very simple. But the fallen world, I'm trying to think of an example, but I'm like struggling right now mentally. Um, when it comes to the Christian faith, we make these mistakes. We make these um, kind of, you should not do this, you should do this, or whatever. One of the biggest, I think, mistakes that we make is put a high level of, oh, you shouldn't do this as a Christian. But there are certain things that we also do as Christians, because there are plenty of Christians that I know who are very judgmental and do not treat everyone with love as we should. That was the page I was on. Um, it might lead you to become a prig. I don't remember what that is. I forgot to put a note for that. To think you are rather a special person who deserve to be congratulated on this idealism. In reality, you might just as well expect to be congratulated, because whenever you do a sum, you try to get it quite right. To be sure, perfect. Um, the idea of being perfect is kind of insane. But I keep forgetting to say what page is I'm on. Going on in the 72. Um, Morality then seems to be concerned with three things. I keep thinking someone's at my door. Firstly, with fair play and harmony between individuals. We'll stop there because this is actually the biggest part that what we focused on a few weeks ago when we did this chapter. The biggest thing was, hey, the first thing, hey, people want to play fair. People want to uh, be have harmony between each other, but they don't realistically. I know that, you know that, but in reality, that's what people think of. Um, we think of, there's harmony between individuals, but the world has twisted that because, if we don't agree on something, A lot of times there are people who are just going to be furious that you don't agree with me or I don't agree with you, and then there'll be issues. We can't just disagree on one thing, but have peace about it. It's for whatever reason not a thing. Secondly, with what might be called tidying up, or harmonizing the things inside each individual, kind of like tidying up. I can't remember the exact notion with that, but like the idea of being tidy, being, you know, um, uh, generous, being kind to one another, is very important. And on top of that, lastly, the third one, with the general purpose of human life as a whole, what man was made for, what cause, oh, I'm sorry, that was it. What man was made for? What was man made for? We are made to um, be be loving towards each other, being tidying up, and to be general, like be made in the image of God. We are all made in the image of God. We are loving, but we do not always show that loving towards one another. I have a call that I need to make real fast. So to kind of just end this a little bit, going to the last page, but if Christianity is true, then the individual is not only more important than incomparable, more important, for he is everlasting in the life of a state of as I'm just gonna skip it. Compared with his is only a moment. For the rest of this book, I'm going to assume the Christian point of view and look at the whole picture as it will be if Christianity is true. Um, I'm gonna go to a different thing. We're gonna do a riddle. Uh, who has married many times but can stay single their entire life? That one's actually kind of funny. All right, I will see you guys next time.